Kimberley Guilfoyle's attendance at Trump's 2025 inauguration has heads turning, sparking buzz as her presence stirs intrigue and speculation. Kimberley Guilfoyle has always been a woman who knows what she wants, confidently navigating various careers with determination and grace. However, at Trump's inauguration, she found herself in an unexpectedly awkward situation that had everyone talking. At Trump's inauguration, Kimberley Guilfoyle found herself in an unexpectedly awkward situation, leaving everyone talking and speculating. Join us as we explore why Kimberley Guilfoyle's attendance at Trump's inauguration had heads turning. Trump's 2025 inauguration as the 47th President of the United States in January 2025 was anything but ordinary. Held in a more intimate setting at the U.S. Capitol Rotunda, the event still managed to draw a mix of political heavyweights, business moguls, celebrities, and, of course, the entire Trump family. Among the familiar faces was Kimberley Guilfoyle. To some, her presence wasn't surprising at all. After all, Kimberley had been a central figure in Trump's campaigns, serving in key fundraising and advisory roles during both the 2020 and 2024 elections. Kimberley was one of the driving forces behind the campaign's massive fundraising operations and a fiery presence at rallies and conventions. Naturally, her attendance seemed like an extension of her ongoing loyalty to the Trump brand. But let's rewind for a moment. Kimberley's connection to the Trump family isn't just professional, it's personal. As the former fiancée of Donald Trump Jr., her presence raised some eyebrows, especially considering their recent breakup. While many saw her as a natural attendee due to her campaign involvement, others found her appearance intriguing, even awkward. Was she there as a political ally, or was this a show of unity despite the split? Of course, Kimberley wasn't the only notable figure in the crowd. The Trump family was out in full force. Melania and 18-year-old Barron stood proudly by Donald's side, while Donald Jr., Ivanka, Eric, and Tiffany lined the stage behind their father. The family's presence symbolized a united front despite the whispers of personal drama. The guest list didn't stop there. Elon Musk, now co-chair of the Department of Government Efficiency, added his signature flair to the event. Also in attendance was Governor Kristi Noem, Trump's nominee for Secretary of Homeland Security, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr., slated to head the Department of Health and Human Services. And then there were the former presidents. Yes, you heard that right, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, with Hillary by his side, and George W. Bush were all present, making it a rare gathering of political powerhouses. Whether you call it tradition or a show of solidarity, it was a moment worth noting. But let's get to the part that had the internet buzzing, the celebrity sightings. Logan and Jake Paul, the ever-controversial brothers, attended, and they weren't alone. Oh, it happened. It happened. I said it would. They traveled alongside MMA star Conor McGregor, whose appearance caused quite a stir given his own share of controversies. And just to add a little more intrigue, podcaster Joe Rogan was spotted in the crowd, likely taking it all in with his signature mix of curiosity and skepticism. The day wasn't just about who attended but also about what their presence represented. Kimberley's role, for example, highlighted her ability to maintain professional relationships even amidst personal challenges. Having been a key figure in the campaigns, she had an undeniable place at this historic moment. Yet, her connection to the Trump family, particularly her recent breakup with Don Jr., added a layer of human drama that couldn't be ignored. The early life and career of Kimberley Guilfoyle. Before we talk more about Kimberley Guilfoyle's attendance at Trump's inauguration in 2025, let's find out who this woman is and what she has to do with the Trump family. Kimberley has always been someone who knows how to make an entrance, and not just at political events. Kimberley Guilfoyle was born on March 9, 1969, in San Francisco, California, and her life story is as dynamic as the city itself. Growing up in the Mission District, she was the product of two vibrant cultures. Her mother, Mercedes, was Puerto Rican, and her father, Anthony Tony Guilfoyle, hailed from Ennis, County Clare, Ireland. This cultural blend gave Kimberley her signature mix of warmth and tenacity. Mercedes was a dedicated special education teacher who left a deep impression on Kimberley. Tragically, Mercedes passed away from leukemia when Kimberley was just 11 years old, a loss that forced the family to rally together. Tony stepped into the role of a single dad with the determination of a man who had built his own American dream. Tony's journey to the United States wasn't exactly a stroll in the park. At just 20 years old, he left Ireland with big dreams and little else. After serving 4 years in the U.S. Army, he transitioned into construction and later became a successful real estate investor. Tony was the kind of guy who believed in hard work and big dreams, a philosophy he passed on to his daughter. Kimberley's childhood was filled with stories from Puerto Rico, traditional Irish meals, and plenty of encouragement to aim high. She attended Mercy High School, an all-girls Catholic school in San Francisco, where she excelled in academics and extracurriculars. She wasn't just a bookworm, though. Kimberley had a spark that made people sit up and pay attention. After high school, she enrolled at the University of California, Davis, where she juggled her studies with a side hustle that might surprise you, modeling. From Macy's ads to Victoria's Secret bridal spreads, Kimberley knew how to light up a camera. But Kimberley didn't stop there. She pursued a law degree at the University of San Francisco, graduating in 1994. During law school, she interned at the San Francisco District Attorney's Office, where she got her first taste of courtroom action. She also studied at Trinity College Dublin in Ireland, where she published research on international children's rights. Talk about ambition. Once she had her law degree in hand, Kimberley wasted no time diving into her legal career. She started as a prosecutor in San Francisco, where she handled tough cases involving domestic violence and violent crimes. But her career hit a bump in 1996 when a new district attorney, Terence Hallinan, took over and cleaned house, firing 14 prosecutors, including Kimberley. So what did she do? She packed her bags and headed to Los Angeles, where she joined the district attorney's office as a deputy district attorney. There, she handled everything from narcotics cases to murders, earning a reputation as a fierce and capable prosecutor. She even snagged awards like Prosecutor of the Month, proving she could more than hold her own in the high-stakes world of criminal law. By 2000, Kimberley was back in San Francisco, rejoining the district attorney's office. Maybe 10 or 15 years ago, there was a famous dog case in San Francisco, where a woman walking back to her apartment in Pacific Heights was killed by 2 dogs. They were owned by lawyers who had gotten the dogs from a white supremacist who was in prison. It wasn't long before she found herself in the spotlight with the infamous dog mauling case. This high-profile trial, involving a fatal dog attack, was both gruesome and legally complex. Kimberley co-prosecuted the case with precision and grace, securing a conviction that made headlines nationwide. Kimberley's time in the courtroom wasn't just about winning cases, it was about making a difference. She connected with victims, stood firm against opposition, and brought a human touch to the often impersonal world of law. However, a woman like Kimberley was not created to work in one place for the rest of her life, so it's no surprise that her career has been a whirlwind of change, reinvention, and taking on new challenges. Kimberley's first big leap out of the courtroom happened in 2004 when she traded legal briefs for TV scripts and moved to New York City. There, she became the host of Both Sides on Court TV and moonlighted as a legal analyst on Anderson Cooper 360 Degrees. This transition might have raised a few eyebrows, but Kimberley's charisma, legal expertise, and knack for breaking down complex topics into digestible sound bites made her a natural fit for television. Just 2 years later, in 2006, Kimberley joined Fox News. It wasn't long before she became a familiar face on the network, hosting the weekend show The Lineup. Although the show was eventually cancelled, Kimberley wasn't going anywhere. By 2011, she was a co-host on The Five. We have some exciting news to share with you tonight. The Five is moving to prime time. That's right, starting on Monday, you can catch us at 9 p.m. Eastern live every night. A show that quickly became one of the network's most popular, The Five cemented Kimberley's status as a fixture in primetime news, where she held her spot until 2018. During her time at Fox News, Kimberley wore many hats. She guest-hosted Hannity, On the Record, and Justice with Judge Jeanine, and even appeared on Fox and Friends for nearly 50 episodes. She also co-hosted Outnumbered, proving she could hold her own in any format. Love her or not, Kimberley's versatility and presence on screen kept audiences tuning in. You must be wondering how Kimberley Guilfoyle and Donald Trump Jr. went from running in the same social circles to becoming one of the most talked about couples in political and media circles. Long before sparks flew, Kimberley and Don Jr. were simply acquaintances. In fact, they were photographed together as far back as 2007 and 2008 at glitzy New York events. At the time, both were happily married, Kimberley to businessman Eric Villancy, with whom she shares a son, and Don Jr. to model Vanessa Trump, the mother of his 5 children. Their paths crossed often, thanks to their shared social circles and their children attending the same Manhattan private school. But it wasn't until years later, in 2018, that their friendship took a romantic turn. That year, Don Jr. and Vanessa finalized their divorce. Cecilia, good morning to you. The couple confirming this in a statement we're about to show you, the couple filing for divorce in Manhattan Supreme Court. And Kimberley left her long-standing role at Fox News under a cloud of controversy. Coincidence? Maybe. By May 2018, the rumors were swirling, and the couple made their relationship public during a send-off party for Ambassador Richard Grenell. Their chemistry was undeniable, and they quickly became inseparable, appearing at political events, rallies, and even social gatherings together. Kimberley and Don Jr. weren't shy about showing their affection. They made their Instagram debut in June 2018, posing alongside rock star Bret Michaels. By then, their pet names for each other, Junior Mint and Pooh Bear, were already making headlines. From there, Kimberley dove headfirst into the Trump universe. As we already mentioned, she became a senior advisor to Trump's campaign in 2019, working alongside Don Jr. at rallies and fundraisers. Their dynamic was electric. Kimberley's years in TV made her a natural on stage, while Don Jr. grew more polished and confident as a speaker. Hello, America. I have to ask, has anyone ever been this excited for Monday morning to roll around? Kimberley reportedly had a significant influence on Don Jr.'s public persona, helping him sharpen his media skills and develop a more assertive, opinionated voice. It wasn't long before the two were a fixture at political events, from Montana conventions to university speaking engagements. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Their appearances, like the one at the University of Florida in 2019, drew both fans and critics. The pair were paid $50,000 for the event, a sum that sparked controversy and protests among students. Still, Kimberley and Don Jr. embraced the chaos, often leaning into their roles as polarizing figures in the political landscape. Their shared passion for the Trump campaign's goals brought them closer together. But their relationship wasn't just about politics. Don Jr. often joked about their adventures, from fishing trips to campaign stops, describing them as tests to see if Kimberley could handle his rugged hobbies. Spoiler alert, she could, and she did, with a smile and a lot of charm. Throughout their relationship, they were often described as a power couple, but it wasn't all work and no play. Whether sitting front row at New York Fashion Week or lighting the national Christmas tree, they made time for the fun stuff too. Kimberley Guilfoyle and Don Jr.'s next chapter. Fast forward to the late 2010s, and Kimberley Guilfoyle and Donald Trump Jr. were no longer just the power couple of Trump rallies, they were also the talk of every social circle. Everywhere they went, people couldn't help but ask, what's next for these two? Were wedding bells on the horizon? What was life like behind the scenes for the dynamic duo who seemed to do everything together? The questions began piling up publicly in November 2019, when the couple appeared on the after a heated discussion about politics. Co-host Abby Huntsman lightened the mood by asking the question on everyone's mind, so when's the wedding? Kimberley, ever the quick thinker, laughed it off, saying they were more focused on the campaign. But the seed had been planted, and speculation about their future as a couple only grew. By early 2020, the couple's relationship was thriving both personally and professionally. They appeared inseparable, working side by side at campaign rallies, book signings, and even a few hunting trips. And let's be honest, nothing says couple goals like bonding over outdoor sports and campaign speeches. Then came the big move to Florida. After skipping President Biden's inauguration in January 2021, Kimberley and Don Jr. headed to Mar-a-Lago and started house hunting in the Sunshine State. It wasn't long before they found their dream home, a sprawling $9.7 million waterfront estate in the gated Admiral's Cove neighborhood in Jupiter. This was the kind of place most people only see in glossy magazine spreads. Think 6 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, a chef's kitchen, a wine room, and enough guest wings to host the entire Trump clan. The couple officially made Florida their home in April 2021, but not before selling their Hamptons mansion for a cool $8 million. That house, by the way, was no slouch either: 7 bedrooms, a heated pool, and nearly 4 acres of privacy. It was clear that wherever Kimberley and Don Jr. decided to settle, they weren't settling for less. As their Florida life began to take shape, the engagement rumors started heating up. Kimberley fueled the buzz in January 2022 when she posted a sweet photo of herself and Don Jr. celebrating his birthday, and eagle-eyed followers couldn't help but notice a diamond ring sparkling on her left hand. Naturally, the internet went into overdrive. By February 2022, Kimberley put the rumors to rest with an Instagram post that confirmed what everyone had already guessed: they were engaged. Calling Don Jr. her fiancé, she gushed about their love and how excited she was for their future together. Despite the high-profile nature of their relationship, Kimberley and Don Jr. often emphasized the simpler, more traditional aspects of their life together. In a 2022 interview with Metropolitan and Palm Beach magazine, Kimberley opened up about her love for taking care of Don Jr., from making coffee in the morning to cooking and keeping their home in order. She described herself as traditional yet fiercely independent, a balance she said Don Jr. appreciated. By April 2024, Don Jr. marked their 6-year anniversary with a heartfelt Instagram post, thanking Kimberley for standing by him no matter what challenges came their way. He shared photos of their adventures, fishing, shooting, and even a snapshot at the White House. It was clear that while their relationship might be high-profile, their bond was deeply personal. A sudden split. Just when everyone thought Kimberley Guilfoyle and Donald Trump Jr. were set to be the ultimate power couple forever, the news of their split hit like a bolt from the blue. It wasn't the quiet, amicable breakup people might have expected. It was laced with whispers of betrayal, brunches, and a Palm Beach socialite named Bettina Anderson. In September 2024, rumors began swirling after Don Jr. was spotted sharing a cozy brunch with Bettina Anderson, a model and founder of the wildlife nonprofit Project Paradise. Onlookers couldn't help but notice the pair's unmistakable chemistry, capped off with a kiss during the meal. The sighting, combined with Bettina tagging Don Jr. on social media with a flirty birthday message, sent the gossip mill into overdrive. For Kimberley, this was the final straw. A woman who had stood beside Don Jr. through thick and thin, and countless campaign rallies, was now facing the reality of a very public and painful breakup. Wasn't about to settle for less than complete loyalty. While neither party initially confirmed the breakup, the timing of Donald Trump's announcement that Kimberley would serve as the next U.S. ambassador to Greece seemed to underline a fresh start for her. The day after Don Jr. and Anderson were seen hand in hand, Trump praised Kimberley's qualifications for her new role, describing her as a sharp and accomplished leader. Don Jr. echoed the sentiment, congratulating her publicly and emphasizing their special bond. Despite the circumstances, though he avoided confirming the split outright, Don Jr.'s words left no doubt that their romantic chapter had ended. Kimberley, as always, landed on her feet, stepping into her new diplomatic role with the same energy and confidence that had defined her career. Awkward encounters, however, that wasn't the end of the embarrassment. Although Kimberley Guilfoyle's attendance at Trump's inauguration had heads turning because of her split from Donald Trump Jr., the real drama unfolded when she found herself sharing the spotlight with Don Jr. and his new girlfriend, Bettina Anderson. The inauguration events, held across a series of elegant venues in Washington, D.C., became an unexpected stage for this trio. Kimberley, ever the professional, carried herself with grace. She attended in her role as the newly appointed U.S. ambassador to Greece, donning a stunning sparkly white dress for the pre-inauguration candlelight dinner at the National Building Museum. But across the room, Bettina Anderson, a Palm Beach socialite and Don Jr.'s new flame, stood out in a classic dark ball gown. The juxtaposition was hard to ignore. The two women couldn't have been more different, one a seasoned political and media powerhouse, the other a younger socialite with a background in wildlife conservation. While Don Jr. and Bettina made their first official public appearance as a couple, Kimberley held her own, mingling with other political figures and guests. The real kicker? Both women ended up at the same table during one of the events, seated uncomfortably close for comfort. Don Jr., caught in the middle of his past and present, did his best to keep things light, but the tension was palpable to everyone in the room. Still, Kimberley didn't let the situation ruffle her feathers. As she later shared a polished Instagram photo of herself from the event, it was clear she wasn't going to let this awkward encounter define her night or her future. What do you think would be the most awkward part of attending an event with both your ex and their new partner?